In this video, I'll show you how to create a dynamic drop-down menu in Microsoft Excel. I have a list of suppliers over here, and I want to create a dynamic drop-down menu from this list. In other words, I want to create a drop-down menu which would show not only these suppliers over here, but future suppliers which will be added to this list over here. So first I'll demonstrate how a normal drop-down list functions. So I'm going to create a drop-down menu right here. I'll create it in cell D2 in this case. So to do so, I have to go to Data, Data Validation, and I'll select a list, and I will select my range, which is this range in this case. And I'll click on OK. And as you can see, this list correctly gives me a drop-down menu of all these suppliers. However, if I enter a new supplier at the last row over here, let's say I input a supplier named ABC123 over here, it's not going to show in this list because it falls outside of the range which I indicated. Now, one way of fixing this is to just go to Data Validation and increase this range to input a larger range. However, the problem with this solution is we don't know how big of a range we're going to have, and if we're going to have maybe perhaps other data sets underneath this, and we don't want this to be a very large range. We just want to include the data as it comes in. So the way to do this is by creating a table. So I'll demonstrate how this is done first. So first I'll remove this new supplier which I added. So first I'll create a table out of this list over here. And to do that, you have to click on Control L on your keyboard. And this pop-up appears which says, where is the data in your table? So I've indicated a range, and my table has a header. So I'll keep this box checked. And then I'll click on OK. So this list over here has been transformed into a table now. Now every time I enter a new data beneath the last row of this table, that new cell will become part of that table. And here's a demonstration. Let's say I put a new supplier name called ABC123. As you can see, this new entry has become part of this new table. Now what I have to do is to name this table. I have to create a named range out of this table. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this range, and I'll call it, let's say, suppliers. So that's the name of my named range. Now I'm going to revise my drop-down menu here by going to Data, Data Validation again, and instead of putting this range, I'll just put the named range which I just created on the top left-hand corner. So I'm going to put suppliers. I have to put equal sign and then suppliers, of course. And then I'll click on OK. And as you can see here, the new supplier, that is ABC123, is appearing in this list as we want it to. Now let's add a new supplier to this list. Let's say I want a new supplier called XYZ456. This is a brand new supplier. So I'll input it. As you can see, this has become part of this table. And if we go to our drop-down menu, you can see that XYZ456 has been added to our drop-down menu as intended. And this is how you can easily use a combination of creating a table and also creating a named range and connecting the named range to your data validation drop-down menu in order to create a dynamic drop-down menu in Microsoft Excel. I hope you found this video useful. If yes, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe and also turn on notifications so you won't miss out on my future videos. That's all for today. Bye now.